I've played a lot of Smash and I watch a lot of Smash. And sometimes it's easy to forget that when I play and commentate I throw around so many technical terms, abbreviations and acronyms that to the average person it might sound like we're speaking a totally different language. I know a lot of my viewers don't actually play the game all the time like me, so in this video I'll be covering all the terminology you might hear me say in a Smash video and what it means. Let me know in the comments which terms you learnt today, and let me know if you knew everything because that means that you are a Smash professional. In Smash, your moves will generally do percent and knockback. Percent can be seen as damage. You won't die if you take a certain percent, but the higher your percent, the further you're gonna fly when you get hit. We call this flying when you get hit knockback. If you get knocked away all the way to the edge of the screen, you hit the Blastzone. The Blastzone is an invisible border that surrounds the stage. Touch the Blastzone, you die and lose a stock. To deal percent and knockback to your opponent, you have to hit them with some attacks. A jab is the most simple attack. You press the attack button, which is normally A on most controllers, press it a couple times to do a jab combo, press it a lot of times to do a rapid jab. By holding your control stick in a direction and then pressing A, you're going to perform a tilt attack. Now every character has a down tilt, a forward tilt, and an up tilt. You'll hear us often shortening these to D tilt, F tilt, and the oh my god, when will it stop? If you smash your control stick in a direction while you're pressing A, you're going to perform a smash attack. These are normally stronger but slower than tilt attacks. You can also charge them up by holding A for some extra power, and it leads to some very funny situations. If you press A while you're in the air, you're going to perform what we call an aerial attack. Every character has 5 of these, so I'm going to go for the speed round. Alright, here goes. Forward air, which we call a fair, back air, which we call a bear, down air, which we call a dare, neutral air, which we call a nair, and up air, which we call an If we put all these moves together, it makes up what we call the normals of a character. So if these are normal, then we've also got specials. Now specials are performed by pressing the button, which is normally B. Now these moves are usually more unique, but usually more situational. There's up, down, and side specials, but most people will shorten it to an up B, a down B, and a side B. If you call it a forward B, I'm sorry, but we can't talk anymore. If you're on the ground, you can also do what we call a grab. After you grab someone, you can press A or the grab button again to pummel them, doing a small amount of damage, and then you can throw them by pressing it into a direction. So we'll call that like a forward throw, back throw, etc. This does damage and knockback and can even lead into combos or kills depending on the throw and the percent. The reason you would do a grab over just a normal attack is that grabs go through your opponent's shield. Every character has a shield. This blocks attacks, aerials, and almost all specials. As you hold it, it gets smaller, but it also gets smaller by taking hits with what we call shield damage. Some moves do a lot of shield damage for no reason. If your shield gets completely taken down, you get what we call shield broken. Then you have plenty of time to think about your poor life decisions while your opponent hits you with literally anything they want to. If your shield is small, moves can hit you around the edges where your body is showing. This is a shield poke. If you move your shield around by pressing the control stick gently, you can block these, but normally people just use this for some advanced teabagging strategies. You can dodge moves completely with either a spot dodge or a roll. These are pretty infuriating online because they work way too well when you can't react to them, and it makes new players think that they're a lot better than they actually are. You can also dodge in the air by pressing the shield button and do an air dodge, but watch out, if your opponent expects this, you will look extremely stupid. There are multiple ways you can move your character around in Smash. Every character can walk, run, or dash. Some characters can also crouch walk. Jumping is also a massive part of Smash. You can do a full hop, which is a full-size jump, a short hop, which you perform by tapping the button very lightly and quickly, and you can also do a double jump. Some characters have even more jumps than that. If you happen to get knocked off the stage, you can use a combination of your double jumps, air dodges, and your up B to make it back. All of this put together is called your recovery. When you get knocked back, you're going to start tumbling through the air. If you hit either the floor or a wall while you're in this tumble, if you press the shield button at the right time, you will do what we call a tech. If you do not tech, you're going to bounce off the stage. If you hit the underside of a stage and do not tech, that's what we call a stage spike. Now the timing for a tech is not that hard, but it does require a bit of practice and a bit of muscle memory. A spike is a move that sends you pretty much straight down. These can kill people extremely early if you hit it off stage, and are often considered as pretty disrespectful and something to really be proud of if you can hit one. Now that I've covered the basics, I'm going to go over a few common terms that you hear us use a lot. First one up is the SD, short for self-destruct. Basically, this means you accidentally kill yourself in the game. If you can take your opponent's entire stock without taking any damage at all, that's what we call a 0 to death, because it takes them from 0% to their death. Now, most YouTubers absolutely love this one because it makes for really good content. If you manage to win a 3-stock game without taking any damage, we'd call that a JV4, because you have effectively 4-stocked them by not taking any damage on your first stock. Some moves give your character super armor, where they're immune to all knockback while they're using the move. Heavy mains are notorious for absolutely loving these moves, as it can be pretty funny to just power through your opponent's move and then hit them with something crazy. Some moves will hold you in place in the game. This includes getting grabbed or getting buried. Now you can get out faster by doing what we call mashing. So mashing just means pressing as many buttons as you can in the shortest period of time. I absolutely hate mashing because I think it's stupid, but you know, you just gotta learn it anyway, you just gotta do it, otherwise you're gonna get mauled in these battles. The next few things I'm gonna go over I would consider some intermediate skills, so when you've started getting a bit better at the game, this is the kind of things you're gonna have to start thinking about. First up is spacing. So spacing talks about how far away you are from your opponent. A new player might just hold into their opponent while running at them to attack. But with good spacing, you can sneak around their moves and weave in your own without getting hit. If your spacing is good, you can often hit your opponent's shield without them being able to punish you or do anything about it. We would call this a safe move. The next one's a term that I had a lot of trouble wrapping my head around when I was first starting to play Smash, and that is the term of the neutral. Neutral refers to when, in a match, neither player has a better position than the other. You can think about it like the game has just started, you're on the same spot on the same stage, facing each other, with nobody really having the upper hand just yet. It's most players' goal to, during the neutral, put their opponent into a bad spot, where they have a limited number of choices about what they can do. If you have these limited choices, that means you are now in the disadvantaged state. If you hear people saying this character has a good neutral, it means that they have a lot of ways of entering their advantage state. Usually moves that are quite good in neutral are projectiles, safe moves, pretty much anything that can get your opponent hit without you getting hit. Some examples of being in the disadvantage is when you're either off stage, above your opponent, on the ledge, or anywhere where you have limited options. A term I've used a couple of times already is a combo, so I thought I'd better explain that as well. A combo is where you can hit someone multiple times in a row without them really being able to do too much about it. A true combo is where they cannot escape at all, so you might hear us asking, is that a true combo? That means, is there a chance I could have escaped? When they do have the opportunity to escape, sometimes we still call it a combo, but then it's technically more like a string, so we call it stringing together moves. If your opponent is above you and you're continuously trying to hit them up and keep them off the ground, that is called a juggle. You can keep them in a disadvantaged state for a really long time by juggling them, and a lot of characters have a lot of trouble landing or getting down back to the ground. If you can stop someone from making it back to the stage, you've done a successful Edgeguard, where you're guarding the ledge. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can Edgeguard by throwing out attacks from on the stage, or you can go off stage, trying to hit them with an aerial on their way back. When you let go of your shield button, there's a very short animation where you can't do anything as the shield drops. Certain moves can completely skip this animation, and we call this doing a move out of shield. Things you can do out of shield are jump, up B, and up smash. This can mean that you might be able to get a punish that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. Now this is one that I see get thrown around a lot, but a lot of people don't know what this is. So this is a RA, or a reverse aerial rush. This is where, while dashing, you turn around as you jump, which means that you're now facing backwards without losing any of your forward's momentum. This can be great if you want to approach someone with your back air, especially if you're going to be able to get a combo off it. You'll hear us talking about a read a lot, so like, I got the read, that was a sick read, but a lot of the time people don't actually know what we're talking about. So a read is a term where you kind of guess what your opponent is about to do. Normally you're going to make this guess of what they've done so far. By reading their option, you can get massive punishes, make them look stupid, and do a lot better than you would be if you were just throwing out random moves. A lot of the time we kind of confuse option coverage and reads. So option coverage is where you throw out a hitbox just to try and cover as many things as you can. Where a read is where you really call out what you think they're going to do and then cover that one specifically. So most people have heard of DI before, so I won't go too in depth on it, but DI stands for Directional Influence. DI can affect how far and at what angle you go flying at when you get knocked back. You affect your DI by holding a direction as you're being hit. Now something that you might not know is SDI, so that's short for Smash DI or Smash Directional Influence. This is a kind of different type of DI you can do while you're getting hit, especially in multi-hit moves. This means you can fall out of moves and they might not actually finish connecting, which can be really handy for escaping certain combos. A B-reverse is a slightly more advanced technique that you can use, which turns your momentum around while you're pressing a special move. So if you were to jump up in the air, B-reverse your move, you're going to be able to turn yourself around, change your momentum up, and potentially mix up your opponent, which can be very useful. Now the next one's a really fun one that I really like to perform myself, so this is a jab lock. If your opponent misses a tech, and you get to them really quickly as they bounce on that ground and hit them with a very weak move, which is normally a jab on most characters, they're going to get stuck on the floor and allow you to do any follow-up you really want to. Moves with a lot of horizontal knockback are often really hard to tech, especially online, and you'll see players going for jab locks after they hit one of these moves that sends your opponent sideways. So that's it for today. I have by no means covered every different term and every different tech in the game. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different things that you have to learn. But these are the basics that you might hear in my videos from time to time. Thanks for watching, let me know what you learned in the comments, and I'll see you next time.